Hi everyone, Patriot 5 here, along with Patriot 6, who's at his house. I'm at my daughter's house today, watching a little monkey, and Ron and me decided to take the night off. I had a really, really rough night last night. I went to bed at a decent hour, and I laid down in bed and I thought to myself, oh my God, I just hit the jackpot. I really thought that. I thought, I really just hit the jackpot because I'm going to sleep, and I'm going to really sleep good. I went to sleep and I slept for 2 hours of the greatest sleep I've had in the past year. I woke up. I finally got back to sleep about 6, maybe 5:45, just in time for my daughter-in-law to come downstairs to take the little baby to the babysitter and wake me up. My son goes out walking that time in the morning before he starts his day at work. And by doing so, he literally came back in about 7:30, maybe 7:45. I had just went back to sleep, and he knocks on my door. Gives that knock, and I go, yeah. He goes, don't forget you need to do this today before you go over to babysit. Now I'm awake again. I wear a Fitbit. I kept checking my heart rate. It was all over the place. I know a big part of it was because of my ability to not get rest. So I really wasn't worrying too much. I was having a hard time kind of breathing. So I finally got up and I took a breathing treatment, and it really helped. Then I spent the next half an hour to 45 minutes in the shower, and I would get the water as hot as I could and just let that steam come into me. And by the time I finally run out of hot water, I was feeling pretty good. Now, why would I tell you guys all this? First of all, I'm trying to talk and get some of the show going while we're playing the music. And I hope that the music isn't too loud, but you really didn't miss anything if you can't hear me anyway. But God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, yes I am. And you know, I can't talk enough about the other day when I pulled into my yard. And oh glory, my flag was flying. I can't really put into words to get you guys to understand the emotions that went through me then. The emotions that's running through me today. Today is a very emotional day for our family. Today would have marked the 61st year my sister and my brother-in-law would have been married. If that's not enough emotions to hang on your hat, at shortly after 6 o'clock tonight, in 1989, my dad passed away. Very emotional day for us. I think that's part of the reason I didn't want to do a live show tonight, because I didn't want to get sentimental. And the more and more the day goes, the more and more sentimental I get. And I know I will probably, upon returning to my home in Buckingham, go and talk to my sister today just to give her a hug and tell her, yep, we all miss him. I will stop by the cemetery on the way home tonight and talk to my dad. That is why I have been so excited about it's going to happen today. It's going to happen before the end of this week. That's why I've been just so happily, but I don't know what's going to happen. But let me fill you in on a few things I do know a little bit about. When I say a little bit, I'm not lying. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but then again, I'm not the dumbest. From what I understand, our wonderful president will be at Mount Rushmore today. I really hope it's just to go there just to talk to the right people, to get away. I really hope they're not constructing him on there as of yet, because, see, to me, I think John Fitzgerald Kennedy deserves to be there. And speaking of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, Marianne sent me a video today, and she says, I found your video you wanted. It's one of them I wanted. It's not the exact one I wanted. The one I want is actually, you see him talking. This one, you just hear him talking. But what the video is about, and what I'm so happy that Marianne found it, and she even posted it on the other group sites, is it says right in there that the hat will be the 45th president of the United States of America. Now, he's saying this, guys, when the hat is just a teenager or just turned into his 20s. Sowing his oats, making his billions. Who had heard of him? And to me, the greatest president that ever lived, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, is telling people. He says his son, Junior, will come back in 2024 and put an end to all of this stuff. He's correct. And as you watch and listen to me talk right now, you're probably saying, no, he's got to be back before 2024. We can't go to 2024. You didn't listen to what I said. He said he will come back. And in 2024, and in 2024, will help put an end to all of this. It's not going to all end today, tomorrow, next Monday, next Tuesday. Things will start moving. Things are already moving. But the hat will be the king. Junior will be in charge of the USA. He said this in 1962 when his son was 2 years old. And I thank Marianne for finding that video, sharing it with me. I've watched it 4 times already. I love listening to that man talk. I really do. I mean, how can anybody touch a 10-year-old boy the way he touched me? In my heart. There's too many people out there that's touching little 10-year-old boys. They need to be dealt with, and that was my subject. One of my subject of conversation with God today. We're at a weekend again, guys. Speaking of guys, let's talk a little bit about Wolvie. Wolvie's excited. I mean, Wolvie is literally excited. I watched Wolvie last night, I think 3, 4, or 5 times. He come on with just his little short videos. But yeah, Mark Z was not on last night for his Whiskeys and Wisdom. Or whatever you want to call it. Whiskeys and Wisdom. Wow. What kind of example is that setting for kids? And I only say this because I quoted what someone else said last night. And my partner, my brother, was not happy with me. There's a saying, if looks would kill, I would be dead now. Because the look I got when I said that. was overwhelming from him. All I looked at him and said is, I'm just quoting exactly what they said. The show got over. We started watching the NFL game. You know, that quarterback that, if he's not on his drugs, he's not as good as what he is when he is. He didn't play good last night at all. But then again, they took the calling of the plays away from the head coach. And the guy they got doing him used to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And when it comes to calling plays, this man don't know his butt from a hole in the ground. But anyway, we're watching a game, and all of a sudden Patriots 6 looks at me and says, hey, the only reason I got upset when you said that is because we base our show on the kids. And we do. He was 100% right. But I made a statement. You're right. But every show, I always say, these shows are not made for kids. Meaning that if our kids watch Jimmy, Patriot 11, you know, the Boogs, my grandkids, anybody who watches, I may slip up and say something I shouldn't. But that's going to happen time to time. We do not live in the perfect world yet. And I felt bad. I did. I had 2 people come to me. 2 people who used to be with us. No names need to be mentioned. And they said, we found our home. I said, thank you. We found our home, and we are so happy that my husband was talking to me. You know, my kids are talking to me. And they said, we're right where we're supposed to be, Mom. Less than a week later, they were gone. I was compared to that guy with the beard. The wizard. I was compared to him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to people. I used to have a very, very potty mouth. But I try to really, really watch what I say, because I respect people like Jana and John, Michael, all of the people who have children. I respect each and every one of you. And I want to teach kids right. And if I sit here and every other word out of my mouth is a cuss word, I'm not doing anything. So I really cleaned the show up. Because you can ask some of these people, we sometimes used to do some like roundtable talks with the leaders, the moderators and stuff. Well, I got a nasty mouth, but I have totally, you know, I guess one of my greatest compliments was working in a factory. There's a word that sounds like duck. It's got a different letter in it. That word is used in a factory more than any word out there in so many different phrases. And I would use it all the time. But my kids were highly into their teenage years before they ever heard me use that word around my house. Did I use it? Yes. But when I was working, I was in a total world, different world. When I walked out of them gates, work stayed there. I did not bring work home. They wanted me to be a foreman. I didn't want to be management. Because when I went home, I went home. That was my kids' time. Would have been my wife's time too, but she was never there. But that's okay. Everything is what it is. So we're going to get into some things here. And they're very good. I wrote Diane a novel today with 2 ends. Diane will be going to Ames, Iowa tomorrow, and she will be seeing The Hat. Now, for people who don't follow sports, tomorrow's also the football game of the University of Iowa Hawkeyes and Iowa State. I don't know Iowa State's mascot, but that is a very, very, very big rivalry. This is a rivalry that could compare to all the major rivalries around. There will be thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people around that area that will be only concerned. But also the hat's going to be there. As I was telling Patriot Diane with 2 N's today, the hat came out recently and says, why would I tell my enemy what my next move is? And I agree. So we're just more or less Ponzi's in a scheme to protect him so he can do what he needs to do. That's how I feel. And I'm okay with that. But remember the other day they came out and they said there's going to be 2 new houses that are white. One of them's going to be in Texas and the other one's going to be in Mar-a-Lago. Why would he ruin and put something like that in Mar-a-Lago? He's not even going to be in there that long because he's going to be king for the day. You understand what I'm saying? Why would you go to Texas? Because everything is bigger in Texas? To me, it should be done what it should have been done. And you guys know, living in Illinois, I live in the Midwest. And I feel Illinois is just about the most centrally located state there is. I feel it should be Illinois. But I truthfully believe, and I told Diane this today, I truthfully believe it's going to be in Ames, Iowa. That's my feelings. I says, this is like 4 times he's went to Iowa in the last year, or year and a half. I remember the one time he went and how in his speech, he made the speech, a boy coming through the corn's just starting to come up. It's such beautiful country, wide open. You can see for miles and miles. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And he could not, he was tripping over himself, giving Iowa so much recognition. So I said to Diane, great time to go, because where we go one, we go all. No one's left alive. I mean, no one's left alone. We're all going together. One of my favorite sayings of his is, they're not after me. Yeah, right. You can see they're not, right? But he says, they're not after me. They're after you. And they are. They're after us. Because if they can keep controlling us, they can keep controlling. But see, something else come out of Iowa. Something else come out of Iowa that really touches my heart. If you build it, he will come. If you build it, they will come. That's a couple of lines from the movie Field of Dreams. If we build it there, they will come. And as I was telling Diane, I want Illinois, but I wouldn't be mad if they put it in Iowa. You know, I wouldn't be mad. I've never been to the one that's now, you know, and I never would go there. Not now. But it would be kind of nice that, hey, Ron, what are you doing today? Nothing. Why? Let's jump in a car and just go drive by the White House. And we could do it in a matter of a few hours. Call Diane on the way there and say, hey, why don't you and Kurt meet us for lunch? Or dinner, or whatever. By the way, speaking of Kurt, her husband, he's out of the hospital and doing really good. And she says that's really surprising. And we're thankful. So our prayers for Kurt paid off. We love you, man. But I also told Diane there's some dark hat secrets coming out. One of them is they have a clone of a certain person. And the world's going to be shocked when they find out this person's been taken out. And that's going to open a whole floodgates for everything. Because, see, you can only play in a deck of cards, you can only play your aces so many times. Now, something that's always concerned me about what's going on in the world. You and I know both, all of us, we know Sleepy is really sleeping. And I got in an argument. Not really an argument, but I got in a discussion that started to turn a little heated. See, because people who believe in Sleepy, they know they're idiots. What else can I say? They know it. They just don't want to admit it. And when we're talking Labor Day, I looked at him and I says, I have a question. I tell you how I feel that he's not real. He said, you're an idiot. I said, okay, why don't you people prove I'm an idiot? Why don't you prove that millions and millions of people all over the United States of America are idiots? Well, how are we supposed to do that? Do a DNA sample of him. Bingo! I think we got a winner chicken dinner. Do a DNA sample of him and do a DNA sample of Dopey, his boy. How much money you want to put on it, they don't match. Why not? They're father and son. Think about it. I don't know how this is going to play out, but when I heard the Deep South, or Deep Crappers, or whatever you want to call them, dark hats, I could call them a lot of things, but like I said, there's children. When I think of this, I just think it could just be settled just like that. You know, it's funny. It's funny because if I was to go get in my car tonight and say I drink a couple of beers before I went, which I'm not going to, so don't worry about it. I drink a couple of beers on the way home. I get my car up to maybe 70, 75 miles an hour in a 55. If the policeman pulls me over, and boy, they have no trouble throwing me in jail and running tests on me and having me put, away because I'm guilty. How much more guilty can you get than Sleepy and Dopey? When presidents of other countries are coming out and saying how he blackmailed them. We thought Big Mike's boyfriend was really bad. He's kind of a prince, or in his case, princess, compared to the corrupt Sleepy and Dopey family. They are, oh my God, they will definitely go down as the most corrupt family. They make Al Capone look like Al Capone was shooting water pistols. So, Bruce was last night. Intel only, as we now are just hours away from this heavenly blessing. Let's start from Tuesday. We had good intel, and today from Geneva saying funds are moving overnight and tomorrow to be used for the Big N and Big G. And the bondholders, however, we do believe the emails coming out for us and the activations of funds for the bondholders, and all this is happening on Sunday. So the T3 bondholders should get access to funds on Monday and on Monday night, so they will get the email and go ahead, but it might not be immediately as in Monday morning. And also funds for us Sunday night and into Monday, and hopefully we'll be starting Monday or Tuesday. And that's the most recent from half an hour before the call tonight. What has been happening at the redemption centers across the SKRs from the 18/19 years ago being paid out? That was big, guys, when all that stuff got paid out. As I've described, and that will be maybe when we get the notifications Monday into Tuesday, Iraq did not put in the rate in the big day for China being the 8th. We know funds are moving And when he says we know funds are moving, somebody on my site, on Telegram, Patriots Fight Forever, somebody has been putting pictures of the national clock or what, the thing that shows all the debt and everything. And they watched it all night last night. And in the time they watched it, I think they said over 200 more people become millionaires overnight. How did they do that? So we know the funds are moving. So anybody who's going to sit here tonight, over the weekend, and think it's not going to happen, it's going to happen. It may not happen exactly in the time frame you want. Ron is Patriot 6 has preached to me religiously. He believes it's going to be the 11th. And I want to believe that. I wanted to believe the 8th. But the 8th is always because that's the Chinese lucky number. What China did to us, making us put diapers on our face, making us do all this stuff, what they did to us, they should be the last country we worry about. But you know what? The hat's going to come back, and he's going to tell them. He's going to tell China just how the hog ate the cabbage. And he'll do it. He'll take care of everything. They are already starting, from what I understand through Bruce, the 500,000 indictments. People are being arrested right and left. We're not seeing it. Just keep your eyes focused on Bookface. Every day there's 5 and 6 people that we used to think was really good people that are passing away. Now, I want to go back to Lynn when she was doing the shows. One of the things that Lynn shared with us, she said very boldly, when this really starts to happen, the people who knew about it but didn't really act upon it, wasn't really deep into it, they're just going to pass away. Car accident, cancer, whatever. They're going to do that to keep their legacy. The bad ones, like the Handkerchief Man and several others, guy that played on it, they called the show 2.5 Men, but when I found out about him, I thought it was a man and a half and a guy in a skirt. I used to like him, but there's so many people that they think of the movie where he's Wild Thing than the baseball player. Guys, when people find out about this stuff, once again, I get in kind of a debate about the hanky man, the Gumper. I said, when you find out about him, it's going to make you sick. I have someone who's close to me, keeps running this same ad about McDonald's. Get a free burger. Don't pass this up, get a free burger. My feelings was, I don't care if they give me the franchise. I wouldn't go in there. No. This person looked at me and says, are you stupid or what? If stupid's the only thing you got, don't come after me, because I've been called a lot worse than stupid. So, what we know, and, I couldn't sleep last night, I told you that. But boy, in my head, I put on the greatest concert in the world with people that everybody else think are gone, but I think they're here. Man, I'm going to lead off with our old buddy, Proud to Be an American. And then I'm laying there in bed and I'm thinking, wow, who else can I bring? And I think, John Denver. Because I got the perfect advertisement to announce John Denver on a concert. Because see, living where I'm living, I can say to people, I love living here. Because no matter where I was, I always knew there was a country road that could take me home. Think about it. Guys, you can do so much if you just insert a little bit of time? Why do you want to sit and watch TV shows you watched over and over and over? And I'm telling you, you watch some of these shows, and me and Ron are amazed. Even going back to Gunsmoke with James Arness, we are amazed at how many of these shows was telling us about stuff. Doc Adams the other day makes a statement in Gunsmoke. Well, kids are being stolen and sold all over the world. This was back before my dad passed away, and he passed away in 1989, September 8th. And Doc Adams was, and I looked at Ron, and Ron looked at me and said, did you hear what they just said? He said it to me because I was so dumbfounded that they're talking about it then. We're sitting at my grandson's little cake and ice cream party the other night. And I told you about my son-in-law seeing extraterrestrial things in the sky. And it freaked him out, and he's explaining to me. And I'm agreeing with him. And he looks at me and says, come on, you're going to make a comment? No, I'm not. They're there. You saw them. But it's funny, see, because when he sees something like that, when he talks about something, I'm like E.F. Hutton. When he speaks, I listen. If I would have been the one that saw that, or Ron would have been the one that saw that, oh, Ralph and Ron, they're crazier and crazier. See, because they got scared of Ron and me in our family, and our friends, and our group of people. Because the smarter we got, the dumber they got. But anyway, Bruce was very good last night, and he did not predict that he wouldn't be back Tuesday. But guys, it's just a matter of a few days. It's a matter of a few days. With my health, I'm kind of glad we haven't went yet, because I want to be healthy as a horse when I go up there. Now, where do you ever get that expression, healthy as a horse? Well, I've never really seen sick horses, so I guess it's a good thing. But there's so much going on. Everybody's so worried about the currency. It's going to be there for every country, guys. Every country is going to be able to call their currency what they want. Now, my hope and dreams is every country joins the BRICS. And they come out with a currency. And they're in charge of it. Because then, instead of every country being in charge of their own currency, the BRICS is, and they have to answer. You know, the hat will be part of the answering crew, and Junior and other people. There's so many people in so many countries that's going to be surprised. Banking staffs are very, very frustrated right now. They was told a week ago, you're going to be working long, long hours all week. It didn't happen. Now they're being told the same thing for this next coming week. Guys, what we have to remember, banking staffs is taking advantage of it. I believe it was Donna that said she went into her bank today and asked if they was Basel III or Basel IV compliant. And they said no. And she asked about the new currencies. We're not going to get involved in that. Well, then why are you still got your bank open? They just haven't shut you down yet. Because you're going to have to be, or you're not going to be a bank. This isn't going to be one of these things that, oh, Ralph and Ron, we got so much money, we're going to start our own bank. We can start our own bank, but we're going to have to follow every rules and regulation. We can, guys, yeah, that's for you, Wolvie. Because whenever I say the word guys, I think of him, because I really like him. I've had some people say, well, I know you don't like him. No, I do. I really do. Because any man that's willing to give up 20, 40, 60, 80, 2 minutes, whatever, 7, 8 times a day, you know he's on our side. And you can just see the emotions. The thing I don't like about a lot of them is, well, this guy told me this and da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what? Tell us who they are. You know, Phil Gugolowski. I apologize to you. Evidently, my information was wrong, Evidently, you're okay because you're coming out with video after video, and you seem to know it all. And I don't know. I'm telling you the stuff you're talking about. I don't know half the stuff you're talking about. But I quit following you when you said something in a video one day, and a couple days later they said that you was taken out. Don't know if you were. Don't care. Well, I do care because you have family. This came out. I wanted to read it to you guys. This was supposed to be a private intel, but somehow someone decided to post it, and it has gone viral, and so I might as well post it. I have confirmed with the Admiral Group, and it's true. Sensitive GCR Intel, 7 September 2023, edited by R. Serfico or something. Redemption codes were put in the QFS system, and the Admiral and returned all green, meaning they were approved. They turned blue at the start of office this morning, meaning the funds are free for payments. All wells will be paid today. Yesterday there was verifications of German bonds, boxes 1924 in Reno. These were approved and will be paid today. At P1 in Zurich, there were authentications of Yellow Dragon boxes that went positive, and they got paid this morning. The Chinese will start paying individual sellers from this coming Monday onwards, and Reno, London, and Miami will go ahead full speed also then. It might be that Miami sellers will be invited to come to Reno for the final closing. That will become clear today, U.S. time. Info came direct from people in the system. Okay. What does that mean? As I said, there's music for everything, and nothing is going to stop us now. We're there. You say your prayers today, you talk to God today, however you're going to put him where he deserves to be in your life today. You let him know that you're thankful. Have there been bumps and bruises? Yep. Have we lost people? Yep. Or have we? I know my brother-in-law's gone. But see, you have casualties in everywhere. Today especially is a very rough day for me because he should have been celebrating his 61st wedding anniversary with my sister. If my dad was still alive, he'd be 113 years old today. Now, when I say he would have been 113 years old today, people, oh, that's old. Guys, you have to remember, we're going into a whole new life. 113 is just starting to get into your teenage years of the life we're going into. For Jimmy, for all the kids who need the beds, they're ready to go. We're just making sure that everything is in order. We're not looking at being on a sandlot and you got 14 or 15 kids. Ralph, you're a captain. David, you're a captain. And you take a bat and put a hand here and a hand here and a hand here and a hand here, and whoever gets the last hand on the bat gets first pick. We're not talking about egos of people who's putting together a pickup baseball game. We're talking about people that will be managing the world, but getting rid of the scumbags. And that, to me, puts a smile on my face. That, to me, says, if you need another week or two, take it. What is another week or two with everything we've waited? Look at what you get if we have another week or two. You get to see my pretty face. With that one, Diane just laughed. Guys, we have so many unbelievable people here. So many. When people ask me what I'm proud of, I say this show. My family. My family on this show. I love my family, my real family, my blood family. but they don't understand me. They don't understand Ron. But they will. Ron and myself started looking at places the other day. So make sure you got your Patriot name. Because if we have to buy 1,000 of them, 2,000, 5,000, we'll do it. But we're going to do it in a little bit better, different way. We're going to have Patriot. Mine will be Patriot 5. Ron's will 6. Patriot 7, my grandson, Patriot 7. You have Michelle Gillespie, Patriot 40. You have Mary Ann's boy. You have Patriot Super Jimmy. You have Patriot 11. You have Patriot Boog, Boogaloo, and Boogaroo. But see, guys, here's what I've been thinking. I don't want to go and have a hat made and look at Myrna and say, Myrna, what color hat do you want for your Patriot name? You know why? Because I'm proud to be an American, where I know I'm free. So I want each one of you to be receiving a red, a white, and a blue hat with Patriot and your name on it. We're probably going to get t-shirts made up. We might get sweatshirts made up. We might just infiltrate everything. And when people laughed at us because we were such a small group, a small family, say, yeah, but your people that took money from you all them time, have they bought you hats? Have they bought you shirts? Have they bought you, we might get our own line of tennis shoes. Patriots tennis shoes. Nike, I'm sure, would endorse us. Think about it. Guys, think out of the box. Have some fun and come up with some ideas. Put them in the talk chat, the chat. Bring them here next Monday when we do the show at 7 o'clock. Maybe we'll do something over the weekend. Who knows? Myself, truthfully, I think it's going to be exciting today, and it could be exciting tomorrow. Why is he speaking in Ames, Iowa tomorrow? Why, if he's going to Mount Rushmore today? Something is in the fold. But remember, guys, and I want you to remember this before I go. Be prepared for the shock of your life. But no, it's not really him. Okay? Don't go crying. Be sad. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to come up and say, I told you, look at, they got rid of, there's going to be a lot of people. But that's when the dams are going to break. That's when the water is going to start to flow. And that's when the mess is going to start getting cleaned up on aisle number 3. For all of you, have a great weekend. I hope it's the greatest weekend of our life. Stay positive, work on your vibrations, and know that Patriot 5 and Patriot 6 love you with all their heart.